Welcome to Maze, the Path of Destinies. We uncovered the final secret, that being Zenobia still has feelings for Renato. We got that by going through one of the endings my friend suggested. Walking the cat, which sadly we died into. But we have the true ending unlocked. We can now unlock the true ending. Okay, I kind of lied. We can unlock the true ending. I just have no idea how.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong.
Guessing
he was
that's
sure he
you,
could figure
Will.
out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion.
That's new.
And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Okay, now this is something new. When we've unlocked all four of the truths, the decisions we make now, depending on what we want to do, we actually can. We'll have a little golden key around it. So if you want to figure out how to get the good ending, the true ending, we gotta go ahead and use the golden key. So let's do that.
Renato finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause, and maybe Renato could use that somehow.
Hello. Renato could use that somehow. What to do with the knowledge about Lapino's treason? Renato would be foolish to trust Lapino again. He should confront him, or better yet, find a way to use the traitor against his new master, the Emperor. Maybe Lapino could be a game changer after all.
Renato couldn't quite put his paw on when he'd realized Lapino was working for the Empire. He'd never exactly seen Lapino sending coded messages to the palace, but he was sure. The rabbit had been on too many disastrous missions where he was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames. If Renato could prevent Lapino from getting back to the fleet with all the intelligence he'd probably gathered, it might be worth the trip.
We're gonna screw Lapino over. I like it. Time we finally use that little bunny for his own purposes against them. Really.
How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lapino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
Huh. At the very least, now we understand. Confront that traitor Lapino. We don't really have much use for the treasures now that we've fully maxed out our swords.
Oh, what does the fox say? Asked one. Another one called back, "Oh, I'm dying!" And they both laughed hysterically.
Ignore Rocky. He's being pissed again. Okay, that's so cool.
The rabbit resented him. Lupino was hilarious because he was so down on himself and everyone else. But behind the laughs, he wasn't a happy camper. Oh, was this payback? Or did the Empire have his little white tail in a vice?
Again, ignore my dog. He tends to do that a lot.
Haven't you always wanted to do that?
Hang on a sec. Sorry, I had to see about the comments. Yes, it's well. Being well. And well, the reason why I don't have any comments on it is because the game kind of slows down and stuff, and kind of glitches out when I try to have it with the comments on. So that's kind of why I don't have the comments on.
Teach you how to fly. Ravens were landing everywhere from dropships.
Sweet.
He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, the rabbit would give the Empire all the intelligence he'd been stealing from the rebellion, and they'd probably give him a medal. He'd have to be very careful about how he played Lupino. At the slightest hint of danger, the mad rabbit would take off like a rabbit.
At least I got that achievement out of the way. But yeah, now that we've unlocked the whole truth, now Reynaldo knows everything. Now he can basically use it against them. Personally, I feel that's good. I mean, the game has tons of replayability because of this, though many people might not agree with it.
Lupino would betray him. The core was dangerous. Reynaldo had a fleeting idea that the two ideas went together somehow. And then it was gone again. Damn ideas. They never stuck around when you needed them.
Well, I got rid of one of them. Again, I apologize if you hear Rocky going on in the background. He's kind of in the mood to play. There's the scumbag.
Bloody and exhausted, Reynaldo finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Now that he knew what the rabbit was, there were a few things about him that Reynaldo didn't find so amusing anymore. You sent me an urgent message saying that you're in danger. Oh, I am. The Ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia. Reynaldo wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it." But if there was one thing Reynaldo was sure of, it was that the core of the Sky River was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Isengrim III might blow himself and his fleet up with it. Yes, that was it.
Huh. Yeah, I definitely remember this is how it would go. We gotta get the core.
felt like a real hero, brave and smart. He told the rabbit all about the Sky Ripper's God's Eye core.
I'll go get the core while you attack Zenobia.
He told the rabbit.
Oh, wait, I've an even better idea. I'll get the core and you attack Zenobia,
Said the rabbit.
Right, yeah, that is better.
Agreed Renato. Perfect. The traitor would make sure the Emperor got the core. Now Renato just needed the Emperor to use the core. If he could only get something that the Emperor wanted very badly. Zenobia. He could save her and bait the Emperor at the same time.
This plan just might be crazy enough to work. Again, it just might be crazy enough to work. Or it could probably kill us. But since we got Lapino to go get the core, we might be able to go and get Zenobia now. Maybe show her what's really going on.
Now, all Renato had to do was fight his way through Zenobia's invading troops, sneak onto her ship and into her bedroom, and kidnap her without any of her dozens of guards alerting her. Then, he would rely on her love for him to convince her how evil her father was, so she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up. It did sound a little risky. But Renato had a feeling it would work out somehow. It always did.
Well, unless it went horribly, horribly wrong, but maybe it might change. Or not. Maybe it might not, but we don't know. We could try.
Who leaves these chests everywhere? Wondered Renato. I should send him a thank you note.
I can see that. What else? What to discuss? I recently saw Markiplier's recent video about Subnautica. To make a long story short, Markiplier encountered the sea dragon. And it was terrifying. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It killed him once. Also, he got infected. Like, that's the thing about Subnautica. Like, you're in an entire ocean world that also suffers from an infection. And you are literally gonna try to find a way to get yourself cured, but also having to find a way to get off the world without, dying. It's crazy. Just might work though. Into the sewer. Shortcut. Huh. Will this be the last episode of Stories: The Path of Destinies? I'm contemplating. Maybe.
You blinked.
We don't really need anything in that red chest anyway. It's
Renato
Lapino.
was halfway to Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up. He was disheveled and distraught.
They jumped us. I barely got away. Oh, they got the core.
Oh, it was all going according to plan, thought Renato. Now he just needed Zenobia on his side. Yes, that was even better. The Iblis Stone. Zenobia could get it. And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait. No. The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her. That's it, he thought. Even Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor. He would try to make himself Emperor. And the Emperor would have to defend himself with the core. Boom. He was a super genius.
No, I know how this works. We gotta send Zenobia. We send Lapino in, we're screwed.
And so, Renato set about getting himself captured by Zenobia to turn her against her father. Once she knew the truth about her father's plans for her, he sent her to fetch the Iblis Stone. Unfortunately, once she had it, the Iblis Stone took hold of her. In a rage, she decided to assassinate her father and become Empress. Renato pursued her to the final battle to stop her becoming evil. Zenobia slew the Emperor. Lapino shot Zenobia. Victory was at hand, but then the exploded, destroying both the Imperial and Rebel fleets. Death, Dark Ages, the usual thing. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
Well, okay. I didn't expect that to happen. Guess we really do have to send Lapita to get the stone. That sucks. Thought we actually had something there.
Right. Now, all Renato had to do was fight his way through Zenobia's invading troops, sneak onto her ship and into her bedroom, and kidnap her without any of her dozens of guards alerting her. Then, he would rely on her love for him to convince her how evil her father was, so she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up. It did sound a little risky. But Renato had a feeling
Damn it.
it would work
I
out
thought that was
somehow.
actually gonna work. We give
always
Zenobia the
did.
stone and, well, that happened. Okay, so we don't send Zenobia to get the stone. We go on and have Lapino do it. Damn it, why did we do that? I am an idiot.
Those flames really bring out your eyes.
Sometimes things don't make sense. I mean, I thought it was gonna make sense. In other news, my laptop's left mouse button, it started malfunctioning. Like, I couldn't, click on anything. Gotta use the wireless mouse that I use on my desktop instead. I mean, granted, it was good while it lasted, but I think now I'm gonna have to get a secondary mouse, for the desktop, because I still game on that thing. And, for general use until I can get a jack for it. A jack for the TV, so I can use the TV to... Okay, how do I explain that? Like a second jack for the HDMI cable. If I can get a second one, it'll be useful.
Renato was halfway
So I
to
can-
Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up. He was disheveled and distraught.
They jumped us. I barely got away. Oh, they got the core.
Oh, it was all going according to plan, thought Renato. Now he just needed Zenobia on his side. Yes, that was even better. The Iblis Stone. Zenobia could get it. And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait. No. The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her. That's it, he thought. Even Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor. He would try to make himself Emperor. And the Emperor would have to defend himself with the core. Boom. He was a super genius.
Okay, we tried Zenobia. Let's go with Lapino.
This is terrible, Renato told the rabbit. If only I had gone for the Iblis Stone. But now it's lost in enemy territory. He handed Lapino a map. It gives the bearer so much power. We can only hope the Emperor never finds it. What was that? Said Lapino. I think someone's following us. I didn't hear anything. Rabbit ears. You go on ahead. I'll check it out. And with that, Lapino hopped off with the map.
Oh, Lapino, you stupid dumbass. I can't wait for everything to blow up in his face. Quite literally with the Emperor. But hey, this bastard stabbed me twice. Actually, more than just one time. I mean, I could have gone with the other ending, but I chose not to. Let me kill this guy first. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get like a second mouse and a phone jack. I mean, not phone jack, an HDMI cable for it. There's the ship.
Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. She was curled up on her bed. He'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She was made of smoke, and he noticed he had a very solid blade to his throat. "Did you really think you could capture me?" Heard a familiar voice. "I just wanted to chat," said Renato. "Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He needs a sacrifice. Someone who truly loves him, to make a bargain with the lost gods." "That's a vicious lie. He wants to bring them back." Oh, that's crazy. Why would anyone... They could make him immortal. An eater of souls. And with that, her eyes widened. She understood. Renato told her how he had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred. How he had slept in a burnt village. At midnight, the Emperor's victims had come to him in his dreams to tell him of the hideous eldritch rituals they'd been sacrificed in.
Yikes.
You can still see those kittens and puppies. Their wide, sad eyes, their moist noses. You can't prove that. I've got a witness at the observatory.
Damn. I mean, we know for a fact the Emperor was insane, but this is just going way too far. Granted, the Iblis Stone also, I think, contains the soul of a lost god. At the very least, we should at least tell Zenobia about this. And off to the observatory again. Joy.
He couldn't tell her, not yet, why he was really here. He didn't want her to be anywhere near the fleet when her father blew himself and the Pino up. So he told her about how the Emperor's obscene rituals had raised ancient artifacts out of the land. How he'd followed the appalling trail of the hideous horrors His Majesty had perpetrated for the sake of his own immortality. "Any of this ring a bell?" he said. "He told me it was all lies." "You've always known when I was lying. I always hated that about you," said Renato.
Well,
the rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
well, that's terrifyingly creepy. I wonder if that's the same village that he mentioned about that we were doing like a while ago. Like at the beginning of the game. The one with Peter in it. I mean, it's kind of a shame really about Peter. I mean, I just realized we never could... Getting the book was probably our safest bet. And at the very least, he's helping us. And now we can finally avenge him. All the people killed by the Mad Emperor. If Lapino hasn't murdered him already. I also finished watching the recent Gundam Iron Blood episode. It's just gone down. What game should we play then? And then like after this. I mean, I got a few good games, and plus there's a new game coming out for this month. Doubt many of them might be interesting for you guys,
Don't
though,
you think
but...
I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you join in? No! I'd destroy his books and I'd... Oh, God. Okay, you're not completely wrong. They've resurrected one of his victims. Well, look, I mean, look, it's not exactly alive, but it can talk. A true witness, she said.
Okay, that's also goddamn terrifying. But we're making our way. I wonder if I should stream Psychonauts. I mean, granted, the last time I played a Double Fine game, it almost didn't really end well. I had to stop it because of the,
Really didn't have much in the way of safety features, did it?
I guess it was because of the copyright claim for the in-game music. I mean, granted, I don't know if Psychonauts will have copyright claims for the music. Maybe. Some people I mentioned said this game's a bit like Bastion, just with multiple choices. I can really see that. I can really see that. And I like that. That's what I like about this game. It's like really fun and addicting. Yeah, if you hear my folks going on in the background, sorry about that.
These islands were short on trash cans.
Ah, dark humor. Sweet. Trying to think. Oh, you have... They're all dead. What the fuck? Guess the Emperor got to him first.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken special care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared at the carnage. He didn't want me to hear the witness, did he? I guess not. What's your plan? She asked. So, Renato explained his brilliant gambit. Sending Lapino to get the Iblistone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him, thus blowing up both of them, and hopefully the fleet too. Let me visit your council, she said, shaken. I want to help. Could he really trust her?
Well, I'd say since we've shaken her up her belief with her father, I say let's take her to the base. I highly doubt she'll betray us to the Empire now.
He'd done it. He'd made Zenobia see how evil her father really was. He wished she didn't feel this urge to join in the rebellion. After all, he'd taken care of the Emperor, right? Yeah, but she'd always been conscientious like that. She told him she had to go somewhere first. So Renato gave her the location of the secret base, and they agreed to meet in the ruins. He had a very good feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling, though. I got like a really bad feeling that she's bringing her army to kill us. If so, we might have just fucked over the rebellion. Oh, I played Bloodborne last night. I felt the mood to at least play to kill the defiled watchdog.
What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council? Had he made a mistake, sending her to the ruins? No. He knew they could trust each other. He could trust her because she never broke her word. And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way to rainstorms of ravens.
Nice. Probably a smart idea to reach the base.
Not Zenobia. Hypatia, the kid's mother. Renato had never thought he'd date a librarian. He'd always figured himself for the barmaid type. But then, he'd never figured the library of Ubar would have comic books, or that Hypatia would know anything about them. He missed her.
Oh, Renato. Slide dog, you. Well, fox, technically. But this does give us some interesting character. I mean, he definitely was referring to Peter's mom, I think. Dating a librarian, though. What would Zenobia think? She'd probably be...
As he came around the bend, there was Lupino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it.
Oh, crap. But all according to plan, I guess. But yeah, that defiled watchdog. If any of you guys have ever played the Bloodborne game, and you fought that watchdog, you will understand the sheer joy I got when I finally killed him.
Shiny deserve to be opened.
Believe me when I say this, that guy has been giving me and my two friends so much hell. I'm just finally glad we killed him. Well, actually, I killed him. I kind of had the, yeah, I kind of had, like, I kind of did it solo. I killed him with the Queen Killer NPC summon. Well, a lot of tricks and using the Accursed Brew, not to mention keeping out of his way. It worked like a charm. He didn't last like a few minutes before I could get him. Well, granted, I had to kill him like a couple more tries, he still could kill me, but I finally got rid of him.
Stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
But you can imagine the sheer joy I had when I finally killed the defiled watchdog.
We needed some way to break the ice with this wall, so to speak.
Like, I'm not even joking. That watchdog has been a pain in my... Like, I'm not even joking anymore. Like, we tried so many times to kill him, but we finally did it. Maybe I'll do a stream on Bloodborne on my YouTube. Upload it onto Twitch. Could use a few more videos. Yeah. Maybe I can also stream Nile. Like a little walkthrough. Kinda cool.
Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood.
Shit.
Why? He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
Stop her. We have to stop her.
You won't kill me, he said. And I won't let you kill the Emperor. Enraged, she raised the sword. You hate him too? He could sense the Iblis stone, yearning for his death. But she didn't strike. If you kill him, it'll destroy you. I know you. Shut up! She shouted, her sword trembling. I won't lose you again. Not for anything. Get away from me, he said, and he was very close. I can't lose you again. And he was in reach of her sword now. I hate him! I hate you too! I love you, he said for the very first time. And then she was weeping. He was holding her. The sword had dropped from her hand. He glanced at the Iblis stone. It was no longer the black of the void. It looked like coal. No. It glowed, like a cinder. It was crackling, burning, crumbling into ashes. "You've always loved me, haven't you?" she said. She was weak. The stone had taken so much from her. "Always," he said. She staggered as he helped her up. "Let me take you away." "Where?" "The island of Avalon. The sisters will heal you." "He'll follow us." "Then we need the Farfarer, the fastest ship in the Empire."
The Isle of Avalon. Avalon? Like the Legend of King Arthur? Oh, I can actually see that. Now that I think about it. Avalon. I mean, we did read in another journal that might be other islands out there, all migrating towards one another. Here we are. Final battle.
The Empire had seized his ship. They'd have to take it back.
To Avalon. Well, doesn't sound like the present.
That is a very cool sword, thought Renara. No, seriously. He couldn't feel his paw anymore.
That's not a good sign. Shortcut. Oh, we're making great time. Maybe this might be the finale episode. I mean, I don't really need to learn more about the intel of the book. Granted, I could replay it a bit more, but replayability in me depends on if the game's interesting enough to warrant replayability. Come on. Got it. At least we're not slowed down like last time. So far we've gotten I think we've gotten everything we need. If I'm right, we should be able to have our happy ever after. Maybe.
And there it was. His beautiful skycraft, the Farfarer. They would fare very far indeed. Beyond the Empire, beyond the reach of the Empire, to the mystical island of Avalon. He didn't know exactly where it was, but he knew he could find it. And they would find peace there. Second star on the right, and straight on till morning, laughed Zenobia. And they laughed together for the first time in a long time.
Aww. But save the laughing for after we get the hell out of here. We shouldn't celebrate just yet. Not until we finally get out. Will this be the final chapter of the game? Maybe. I mean, it was a short little game. I mean, I could have done like all the other different endings, but I think this is a good one for me. Got some of the endings, even though we'd never intended for them. Okay, doing more. Lots of murdering. The combat's really fun. Even if some might feel it might be a bit repetitive. Personally found this game was enjoyable.
Oh, they really ought to put a railing on this thing.
I hope I get Nio. Maybe I'll do a Let's Stream. Put a on my YouTube. I do it on Twitch, but here it is. I just keep forgetting, wait, don't I have to go up there on that railing? Nope, gotta use this. Hard to believe we did the same thing with Zenobia once, and it didn't turn out well. Granted, I feel that Latino pretty much might be down. I don't think he's dead. Yet. I hope he dies. I don't like traitors. Let's just say Game of Thrones taught me a lot of things, but with Game of Thrones, that's the difference there. I mean, like, you gotta be ruthless in that world. But every time I see that world, I just want to see it get... I don't know, I guess... destroyed, I guess, would be the right term. I mean, nothing on George R. R. Martin. I mean, we finally got one in his book. Oh my god. I'm just wondering how long we're gonna take. Granted, we waited so long, and Season 7 is going to be coming out soon. Ugh. This is possibly the most intense fight I've ever had in this game. Oh, now you guys are just being a-holes. That did it.
But they did not go unnoticed.
True
Scout
hero.
ships lifted off, and the long lance of the Imperial flagship. Bernardo turned downwind to gain speed. The Raven ships could pursue, but they couldn't close. The Far Speaker croaked, "You return her and live!" "Go sacrifice yourself," yelled Bernardo. "Then you won't have her either." On the flagship, the Emperor was readying some arcane weapon. It couldn't be. It was the core.
Oh.
A devastating beam lanced out of the flagship. Bernardo zigzagged wildly to keep the Farfair out of it. Now the Raven scout ships were closing the distance, and the beam was getting closer too. Then came a blinding flash, and the air was searingly hot all around him. There was a thunderous, deafening roar. He could smell burnt oak and burnt feathers and burnt flesh. But when he could hear and see again, they were alive and unhurt. And they were alone in the sky. Zenobia embraced him. They had done it. Through luck and through love, they had won the war. "Avalon, here we come," he said as he held her arms wide in the prow of the boat and let her feel its speed. "Maybe the real Avalon is wherever we're together," she said. And so, after a bit of an argument, Bernardo and Zenobia went to one of the two Avalons. The one shrouded in mists, or the one in their hearts. But which one they went to, I'll never tell. He'd done it. He'd forged his own destiny. Well, he hadn't actually done it, but he knew what he would do. Bernardo smiled at the book. He practically wanted to kiss it. The kid's sacrifice hadn't been in vain. He'd saved the book and saved the world. Bernardo owed him and his mother so much. Bernardo lowered the mainsail and let the Farfarer shoot forward in the breeze. Second star to the right, and straight on till morning. This time, he would win.
There we go. And that, my friends, was the finale of Stories: The Path of Destinies. Granted, we didn't exactly get all the endings, but this was a good one. And I did not want to spend nearly God knows how long trying to get to the end. My final thoughts? I'm gonna admit this now, this was a really fun game. Very fun, very entertaining, and very replayability. Granted, like, some of the achievements were super easy to get, but getting to all the different endings required you having to do some things you never thought you could do before. Voice of the narrator, Julian Casey. No Logan Cunningham, but he'll do. I really like this game. I mean, the art style was very fun and enjoyable. The level designs for all of them again and again and again for all the endings was a bit tedious, but when you figured out all the different routes and when you figured out how to do the, I guess when you got like all the upgrades and stuff, it really didn't matter. Like, you could just breeze through it with speedruns. Now that that's done, I mean, what game can I play next? Well, hard to say. I hope to get Nio. I mean, would you guys love to play Nio? I mean, watch me play Nio? Jin, rest in peace. Aw, poor Jin. Inferno Spike, Cousin Larry, Princess Lily, Wolverine, Great Brick. Oh, the nicknames those guys gave to each other must have been hilarious. But hey, we finished this game. That's good. Nio, I might do a bit of a let's play of it if you guys want me to. Fate Stella. Debating on maybe doing the Telemo route. If you guys just want me to. It's really my choice, but if you guys want me to. Bloodborne maybe? I mean, I got all the DLC for it. Could make a character specifically designed just to, you know, stream and do a let's play. That would probably be crazy. And next week's the Dark Souls DLC, not to mention Samurai Jack's coming back. So, man, I don't even know what to do. But, well, I think that's really enough for now. I mean, this is the finale. I guess. I mean, I'll think of something. Plus, there's those free games this month. But, hero path completed. Reward. Iblis Stone and Sky Ripper always active. This option can be toggled in the gameplay options menu. Oh god. Show Truth Finder icon. That's what I was looking for. I didn't really notice it. But we've done it. We've gotten all the truths. We've completed the hero's path. There's really not much for us to do. I mean, we could go for all the other endings, but yeah, I feel that's kind of okay for now. I mean, I don't have to make you guys do lots more videos just to get through this. I mean, I just wanted to get the ending. But yeah, I'm Dragon King Mark, and this has been Stories: The Path of Destinies. I thank you guys for watching. Like, favorite, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys possibly next week or the week after, maybe, depending on what happens, for perhaps my next Let's Play. Maybe I'll do a little stream of Bloodborne and something maybe this week. I don't know. Would be interesting, but with Destiny's whole the news of Destiny's expansions coming out, I mean, it's patch update and the Age of Triumphs, I don't know what I might do, but anyway, hope you guys had fun with stories, and I hope you got to see you guys next time with my next Let's Play. Till then, see you guys later.